I know it sounds silly.
Not really.
Well, I just can't help myself. I feel so insecure about this. I'd never tell Frisco how to live his life, but I'm just afraid what's going to happen with our relationship if he becomes a cop.
I really don't think you have anything to worry about. You know he loves you, right?
Yeah, he does. But that's for now. What's going to happen in 5 years, or 10 years, or much later on down the road?
Do you really think that Frisco's going to change his feelings about you just because he's a cop?
It could. How can a person deal with all that unhumanity day in and day out and not be scarred by it? I don't know how a cop can live a normal life. They must all be bitter, disillusioned people.
Do you think Robert Scorpio was that way?
Oh, no. But, you know, there were times when he could be really cold. When they were dealing with really important cases.
Well, so can an architect when he's trying to meet a deadline, or a ad executive trying to please a major client, or a doctor trying to save a patient's life.
I got the point.
Good. I'm afraid I have nothing but favorable things to say about Frisco's choice of professions. I think he's a cop.
Why?
Because he has all ingredients: courage, savvy, intelligence, and that one particular quality that's so rare.
What quality?
Well, he cares. And with a degree of understanding that's very often hard to find.
What do you mean?
What I mean is he has a street sense that can't be taught. And he has an understanding of people who have to scrabble for a living. And he doesn't act condescending to them in any way. They respect him for that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It does.
I'm proud to say that Frisco's my friend. Not because he was a TV star or anything like that, but because of the kind of man he is. He's the kind of guy that will not be afraid to show his feelings and stick up for what is right. And I'll tell you something else. The Asian Quarter will never forget him. He's a legend on those streets. He put himself on the line for that cooperative, and it wouldn't exist today if it weren't for him. So don't worry so much. You got the best there is.
Yank, sorry, they need you back in ER.
Oh, what's up?
Well, the hospital just called. Buzz brought in a bunch of street people, and he's gone out for more. Apparently, they need you pretty bad.
Okay, I'm on my way. Look, things could be worse. Frisco could be a doctor instead of a cop. I'll see you. It's a perfect match.
No question about it. You know, you've given us a great lead here, Frisco. Pretty good police work recognizing this chain yesterday.
If I could have just found Delancey.
Don't worry, we'll find him. It may take a little time, but he'll turn up. And remember one thing, he doesn't know we're after him, so he won't be on the run.
Yeah. You know, something on this medallion looks like it's been scratched away.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like initials or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to find out what the lettering could have been on this?
Maybe. There is a procedure they can do in the lab using chemicals whereby they can determine what was on something like this before. I'll get them to go up on it. Anything new on the lab, see?
Nothing, Chief.
All right, you must keep me informed if anything happens.
You know something? The filings on this medallion seem fresh because it's still shiny where they were scratching on it.
Mm-hmm.
You think this Delancey could be something more than just a bum?
Well, you know, I suppose anything's possible. But my guess is that he just stumbled across that and thought he'd sell it for a quick buck.
The question is, where did he find it?
Where did he find it? Whose was it? And where does it fit into the larger scheme of the two murders?
If it fits in.
Where are you now, Delancey?
Gonna be able to get that.
It makes my blood boil every time I think about that girl.
Oh, she must be something.
You should see her.
Yes, but does Frisco show any serious interest in Sam?
Jade, he'd be crazy not to.
Crazy? Or in love with someone else? Someone like you.
Don't you have to get back to work?
I'm finished. Besides, I wouldn't miss this conversation for anything.
Do you know what's worse than imagining Frisco playing cops and robbers with that sidekick of his?
Slow torture?
No, it was something that he told me last night.
Oh, what?
He had the gall to tell me that I should take a course in home economics. As if that's going to make me a better wife or something. Can you believe that?
Oh, he must have been kidding.
I don't know, but I am going to better myself. But not in home economics.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm going to major in business.
Sounds rough.
Well, I know I can handle it. I have a good mind. That's what Sean says. I ran his company when he was out of commission.
That kind of thing is good for a short period, but for an entire career?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Sit around knitting baby booties while he's out having the time of his life?
Baby booties? Is there something you haven't told me?
Look, I'm talking about the future, not right now. If Frisco's going to have his life of his own, then I'm going to have a life of my own.
You should.
Damn right I should.
Gosh, I didn't realize how important this was to you.
You know, everybody keeps saying what a great cop Frisco is going to be. But I'm going to be a great something. Thanks for having this little talk with me. I really needed it.
Apparently. You feel better now that you got it out of your system?
Yeah, as soon as I can get something accomplished with it.
Well, you want to walk me back to the hospital?
Would you have a class tonight?
Long day.
When do you have time for a social life?
Social life. What is that?
Is it that bad?
It's worse. Yank and I are lucky if we get to see each other for an hour a week.
Oh, my.
Was he unconscious when you found him?
More or less. Less from the looks of him.
It's a miracle anyone survives on the streets this time of year.
Oh, where is he? Dr. Steve, we have to speak to the patient.
Anna, hi.
We have to speak to Delancey.
Oh, all right, just as soon as he's had about 12 hours
No,
sleep.
now.
Oh, I'm afraid that's impossible.
Look, this is critical.
His condition may be critical if he doesn't get proper treatment.
Just be for a few minutes.
Anna, the man's unconscious. He needs rest. You'll be able to have a few words with him tomorrow.
No, Buzz. You don't understand. I have to speak to him tonight.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid you can't. Nobody is talking to Delancey tonight.
Look, it'll just be a couple of questions, a few minutes when he wakes up.
Anna, the man is badly dehydrated. He's just had his stomach pumped. He's in no shape to talk to anyone.
This is hardly a social call.
Well, I don't care if you're here to arrest him.
Don't make me insist on this, Buzz. It's police business.
No one speaks to Delancey without my okay.
Then give that to me right now.
Would you be attempting to jeopardize this man's life if he weren't a bum?
What is that supposed to mean?
It means what if it were Edward Quartermain lying on that table? Would you still demand to talk to him right now?
Of course I would, especially if he had something to say that would help solve a murder case.
My patient needs rest. My patient is going to get rest. If you'll excuse me now.
All right, well, I hope you know what you're doing, because it's your decision.
Back off! I have had all I can take of high-handed authority figures for one bloody day.
Anna, the patient may be able to talk to you in a few hours, so why don't you check back later?
Excuse me, nurse. I would very much appreciate it if you would not contradict my orders. I said Delancey was talking to nobody tonight. That's exactly what I meant. Is that clear?
Yes, doctor.
Thank you very much. Another thing, I'd like all those presents out of the co-ed lounge by noon tomorrow. You brownstone residents seem to think you own that room. Got your own bulletin board. What next? You're going to throw parties in there? Bells. Get that cabinet straightened up.
Yes. Okay, red alert's over.
What was that all about?
Well, the man doesn't lose it often, but when he does, the walls come tumbling down. I think we're all a little bit bent out of shape because of the pressure. But I've got to get some answers out of our friend there. And the sooner, the better.
So what now?
We meet back here in the morning.
We're not going to get anything accomplished with him tonight anyway.
No, I think we just lost a little time. And I may have lost a rather good friend.
Well, listen, for your sake, I hope not.
He was just doing his job, same as we were. Which reminds me, you know, I don't want you to neglect your studies at the academy. People may think you're Chief's pet. Well, you've earned that, Frisco. But you've got to keep proving it. Now isn't the time to coast.
I won't.
Thanks very much for all your help.
Thanks for having me.
Good night.
Frisco,
Yeah.
I thought you ought to know that Felicia and I had a long talk about you today.
Really? Saying only good things, I hope.
Oh, yeah, of course. Now, she's concerned about you being a cop.
What about it?
All the pressures that you'll be under and how it might affect your relationship.
What Felicia thinks is affecting our relationship is my blonde partner.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
How you doing?
Good to see you. What brings you over here?
Well, I was just walking Jade over from the rib.
So we'll leave you two to catch up on day's events. I don't want to waste a minute of time that Jade's giving me tonight.
Well, you're the doctor.
Yes, I am. We have got to stop meeting like this.
What do you mean?
Between engagements.
Well, if you give up your career, I'll give up mine.
Now you first.
Oh, I didn't think so.
Or maybe it's just as well.
How so?
Because if I saw you anymore, then I wouldn't be able to keep my eyes off you.
Oh, fate worse than death.
Well, now I'll just have to take what I can get when I get it, won't I?
Meaning?
Meaning this.
Well, it's good to see those two finally getting it together, huh?
Yeah, it's tough. Sharing life and trying to have your own interests.
Why do I get the feeling we're not talking about those two anymore?
I've decided to major in business in school.
Business? What brought that on?
Well, in case I have to have my own career. If I choose to have my own career.
Honey, I think that's great.
And not in home economics.
Oh, come on. I was only kidding.
Look, I have no intention of being chained to a sink for the rest of my life.
Well, hell, girl, I don't want you chained to a sink either.
Really?
No, absolutely not. No, if I'm going to be out cutting a path in the real world, I want you to do exactly the same thing. I want you to meet new people and chase opportunities and follow your goals. But just remember something, all right? I am behind you 100% of the way.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
You're going to be glad to hear something else, too.
What?
I love you.
Oh, that sounds nice. Again, please.
Actions speak louder than words.